Welcome back to the Mind Compass, your 10-minute dose of mindset growth for stress management, anxiety relief, and personal development. Wada.
And g'day viewers, I'm Michael.
And I'm Janet.
And today we're talking about the power of reflection and how using the lessons from your past helps you rise to meet the future that you deserve.
Today you'll learn about exploring why reflection is crucial, how looking back helps us process emotions, make sense of experiences, and lets us learn from both successes and failures. We'll also talk about the power of self-awareness, how reflection fosters self-awareness and emotional intelligence, helping you to understand your strengths, weaknesses, and those all-important triggers.
Then we'll talk about turning failures into fuel. It's all about reframing failure. Failures are often seen as setbacks, but in fact, they are stepping stones for growth. And finally, we're going to show you how to have a curiosity mindset for growth rather than self-criticism. And this can make all the difference.
So many lessons lie in our past. However, we need to reframe the emotions surrounding these memories and these incidents to be able to reflect and to truly learn from them. Blindside or red letter dates are etched into your memory, and some of these memories are really, really painful. You may feel anger, pain, grief, embarrassment, resentment, guilt, or shame.
Hell, we've all been there, haven't we?
We're all human, hey? All of these emotions, though, can be diffused. They can be diffused and they can be released, and you will feel incredible relief. Remembering that you cannot see your own reflection in boiling water. It's so important to diffuse the negative emotions that surround a memory or an incident. We have a really powerful exercise for this, and we're going to give you the opportunity to access this at the end of the episode. It's not going to cost you anything, but if there's something that you need to work on, we can help you, I promise.
So first up, let's look at some practical tools for reflecting. First one is journaling, writing down your experiences. And this takes them from the head to the heart to the hand and out onto the paper. We cannot overemphasize how powerful the written words are in your healing journey. Then there's the practice the 3 good things exercise, which is writing down 3 positive things from each day, which helps shift focus to the positive aspects of life.
And if you're having a crap day and you think, well, I can't think of 3, well, I want you to rethink that. Seriously, if you've woken up, if you've taken a breath, and if you've had a thought, then there are 3.
Then there's mindfulness exercises and meditation, which can help you reflect on your experiences in a very structured way. And there are many great guided sessions available free online. Just find a voice and a message that you resonate with and commit to listening daily.
There's also releasing the past. Sometimes we can hold on to a negative experience or a limiting belief from our past, and it really hinders our growth. Reflection can help us release these incidents and memories and move forward. And here's a great example from Steve Jobs. After co-founding Apple, Jobs was famously ousted from the company in 1985, a move that deeply affected him. Initially, he was devastated. He felt betrayed by the people he'd worked so closely with, especially after his creation, Apple, moved on without him. However, after some deep reflection, Jobs used this period to grow personally and professionally. He founded Next, a computer company that focused on high-end workstations, and also brought a small animation studio that would later become Pixar. These ventures allowed him to develop new skills and great ideas that would shape his future. When Apple purchased Next in 1997, Jobs returned to the company that he had founded. This time, with a much broader vision and a lot more maturity, he transformed Apple into one of the most valuable and innovative companies in the world, introducing products like iPhone, iPad, and the MacBook. By letting go of his earlier grievances and using that experience as an opportunity for self-reflection and growth, Jobs ultimately found greater success, and he had a much more profound impact on the tech world and our world today.
And then there's forgiveness. So we want you to think about this. Delve into the importance of forgiving ourselves. Most importantly, ourselves and others, to make room for personal growth. Reflection often requires letting go of the past hurts in order to build a fulfilling future. Nelson Mandela was imprisoned for 27 years, 27, for his opposition to the apartheid in South Africa, during which time he endured immense personal suffering and hardship. And upon his release in 1990, Mandela had every reason to harbour deep resentment and anger towards those who had oppressed him and his people. However, instead of seeking vengeance, he chose a path of forgiveness. He understood that holding on to anger would only perpetuate the division and hatred. Mandela's ability to forgive, not just for his own healing, but for the healing of his country, became a central tenet of his leadership. When he became South Africa's first black president in 1994, he championed reconciliation and unity, even inviting his former jailers to his inauguration.
And that, folks, is the power of forgiveness. It's incredible. I think the year was 2012. I think we were coming back from the States. We were there for that terrible morning where that kindergarten, the Sandy Hook, or early learning, their primary school was struck by a gunman. I actually sent some of my work across my children's picture books to their library, and I was kept informed that the group of parents, some of those parents whose children had been so brutally gunned down that day, had formed communities to go out and help counsel other parents. You know, they weren't harbouring what had happened to them. You know, that's just such an incredible feat of human nature, for them to be able to reflect enough, to open their hearts enough to help others while they were facing all that pain. I mean, we're incredible folks. Human beings are incredible. Never forget it.
No, indeed. And Jim Carrey is another great example of someone who used reflection to set more meaningful goals and intentions for his life and career. So in the early stages of his career, Jim Carrey was focused primarily on success, fame, and money. Pretty common, yeah? And he was known for his energetic comedic roles. But despite his fame, he struggled with deep personal dissatisfaction and emotional turmoil. And at one point, he faced financial instability and was unsure about his future. However, he underwent a significant transformation in his thinking, particularly after a period of personal reflection. In the 1990s, he began to embrace a more positive, intention-driven approach to life. One of the most iconic examples of this shift occurred in 1995 when he wrote himself a check for $10 million for acting services rendered. He dated the check for Thanksgiving 1995, envisioning that he would eventually receive that amount for a role.
At that point, Carrey wasn't even close to earning such a sum, but his commitment to the goal and his self-reflection caused the belief to form in it, and it sparked a change in his mindset. He reflected that this process helped him move from external validation to internal fulfillment. Later, he received a $10 million payday for his role in Dumb and Dumber, making this vision a reality. He's often spoken about how this experience led him to deeper reflections on life and the importance of focusing on inner happiness rather than chasing that elusive external butterfly of success. He realised that the pursuit of fame and wealth, they're not the key to fulfillment. Instead, he began to focus on doing work that resonated with his personal values, such as speaking out about his own struggles and using humour to share meaningful messages about life, the universe, and human experience. Through his reflections, Carrey shifted from focusing on material goals to aligning his intentions with his true sense of purpose and authenticity. He became a strong advocate for mental health, spirituality, and living in alignment with one's true self. His reflections helped him embrace a more grounded, meaningful way of living that goes way beyond mere financial or physical success.
And what about the power of gratitude and reflection? Well, it's about finding the silver lining. Reflect on how practicing gratitude alongside reflection can change your perspective. Identify what you're thankful for, even in tough situations, because this helps you rise and be stronger. And we talked about journaling before, but this gratitude journaling. And this is where you write down reflections on what you are really grateful for, which helps connect the dots between your past struggles and your current growth. So, how about using reflection in real time? So there's instant reflection during challenges. Sometimes reflection doesn't have to come after a situation. It can happen in real time. So learn to pause during difficult moments. Take a step back and reflect on what you can learn before making decisions. This leads to mindful decision making rather than reactive decision making. So through your reflection, you can make more thoughtful decisions in both your personal and professional life, avoiding rash choices and learning from your past mistakes.
And be aware of the ripple effect. Your personal transformation from reflection can have a broader impact on your family, community, and society. And reflection in relationships, when we understand others through reflection, when we reflect on our past relationships, whether it's with family, friends, or romantic relationships, it can provide valuable lessons. Reflection allows for healthier relationships, better communication, and a stronger sense of empathy. And it also allows for profound healing. Reflecting on your past relationships makes for healthier relationships, better communication, and a stronger sense of yourself. One person's rise can inspire others to reflect and elevate their lives. So we encourage you to keep on reflecting and use your past to bring in an awe-inspiring future. We mentioned earlier in the podcast we have an extremely powerful exercise for diffusing the emotions surrounding memories or incidents that are making it really hard for you to reflect. They're incidents that are surrounded by negative emotions. We mentioned them earlier. It's anger, it's grief, it's pain, it's shame, it's guilt. If you've got any of those, and if you want to pursue this exercise, I'm going to give this to you for free. If you're interested, please email info at chrysalisgroup.com.au. You'll find the link for this email in the description below. I welcome anyone to reach out. It's completely confidential. It's not going to cost you anything. And I'm going to work with you with this exercise. It's going to really help your power of reflection. Until next time, love and blessings.
See ya.